Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live English lesson with me, teacher Zdenek, and one of my students from the Achievers Chamber group, Matthius. Matthius? How are you?
I'm really good. And how are you?
Not bad at all. Thanks for asking. And just to remind everyone, you are from Slovakia,
Yes.
and um, your nationality is
Well,
Slovak, because somebody told me recently that I should stop saying Slovakian because I don't know why I always say Slovakian. Apparently, it is a bit old fashioned. Apparently, I should be saying Slovak.
all right, that's new to me.
Oh, is it? Apparently, it's better to say Slovak language, you're Slovak, rather
Yeah,
than Slovakian.
that might be true.
I don't know, honestly, but someone confirmed it. I think I asked one more person and they said it is true. So you're Slovak. What sounds better to you,
Probably
Slovakian or
Slovak.
Slovak? Okay. It is faster, right?
Yeah.
But I think Slovakian also exists. And the name of your country is Slovakia or Slovak Republic?
I think it might be both.
Okay, cool. So now that we have got that out of the way, we should also say hi to anybody watching this, whether you're watching this live or not, or whenever you are watching this, really, whenever you have time. It's good to have you here. And don't forget that you can leave comments. There are two types of comments you can leave. Comments you can leave as you watch this live. And then once this live stream is finished, then there's another comment section. So whichever one you prefer, go for it. And every single comment counts. And you can even ask us questions. Feel free to express yourselves. All right, Matthius, you picked the topic of books today.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
But I have a feeling that mostly you picked it.
you didn't really pick it. I mean, I did ask you though. I did ask you like what you would be interested in, right?
Yeah.
And then one of the things you said was books, and I was like, why not? Let's talk about books. I don't consider myself a massive expert, but it's something that should definitely be talked about. So why not?
Yeah.
And what's your relationship with books then?
It's quite nice since I actually bought a book today,
Hmm.
so that was interesting. And I have a lot of books around my room because why not?
You say around your room.
Yeah, they are
What do you
not
mean?
on the same place.
Oh, how many different places do you have for books then?
Basically, on every single shelf, I have one
Hang on,
at
hang on, hang on,
least.
hang on. On every single shelf, you have one book. Okay. How many shelves do you have?
Um,
Oh my God, he's got more shelves than books, guys. That is crazy.
I have 13 shelves and I have around 30 books in my room.
Really?
Yeah,
That is all right, I guess. So why
and I
don't
have more in my bed.
you have more in your bed? On your
Yeah,
bed?
because it has like the storage room.
In your bed. So that makes sense then to use this preposition in your bed, I guess. And you have to explain to me why you don't tend to keep them in one place. Why do you? Why one book per shelf?
Well, because I leave them there and then I forget about them and then I don't clean them up.
You don't tidy it. You don't tidy your books. You don't put them away. So they are all over the place. So how do you know where you find which book then?
Um, well, I pretty much look around, and then I find it, and then I read some of it, then I put it back, and I go on to another book.
I get that, but like you said, well, if you have 13 shelves and each shelf has one book, and then so how do you know where that book is? Like, do you always remember the place you put the book or
A
make a
a
mental
little bit,
note?
yeah.
You do.
Yeah. And if I don't find it, I can just look on another shelf. And if it's not there, I can just look around the room.
Doesn't sound very effective to me, Matthius.
I
But
mean,
why
it
don't you
takes
get a
around
book?
20 seconds, and I actually move during that.
20
So,
seconds. Imagine if you do this every single day. 20 seconds wasted. 20 seconds of your time wasted, and then you do that every single day. Count how many days approximately humans live on average. How much time you're wasting by not having every single book in one place. I'm really annoying today, aren't I?
like, if we count that I always want to find one book that is on different place
Mm,
every single time,
mhm,
then it's probably going to add up. But because I find them like really quickly, like when I get up, look on the shelf, then
mhm.
yeah. Um, yeah. Can we? I have to go for a bit because something came up. So if you don't mind,
Well, what do you
that's my
mean? How
problem.
long? How long?
Like 1 or 2 minutes.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, everyone. So this is an unexpected break, but we will deal with that for sure. First of all, I have got some people watching here. And secondly, um, as a seasoned podcaster, I should be able to improvise, at least to some extent. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? So, first of all, the first thing I can do is um, put this comment on the screen, right? So this comes from Irena, one of the Achievers Chamber members. Hi guys, I'm listening to you, but I also need to take care of some invoices. Okay. Yeah, you definitely do have to do that. That's more important than anything, right? Taxes, how what's the phrase? There are only two certainties in life: death, and taxes. Like, is that how the phrase goes? You know what? I'm gonna check that. There are only two certainties in life: death and taxes. Yeah, that's the phrase. Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's good to have you back.
Sure.
I was putting up a comment written by Irena who said she couldn't even be here properly because she was doing her taxes. Perhaps she is. Perhaps she is still doing her taxes. So
Oh God.
not necessarily taxes. She's taking care of invoices, which is something I have to do myself, and I don't like that at all. It's one of the most annoying part of my job, Matthius. It's really, really annoying. It's like admin. I hate any admin you can imagine. Like I just prefer teaching, or something creative at least, like doing YouTube or whatever.
Yeah, I can see that.
Anyway, going back to our topic. So we are talking about books here, and here's the question I have for you. Um, are you an avid reader, Matthias?
You could say that I am because I have different books on many of the tabletop board games that I play, like Dungeons and Dragons and other stuff. Because
What kind of books are they then? When you say on,
basically they
is
are
are
rule
these
rule
manuals?
books.
Rule books, okay.
Yeah, and they actually aren't. They are really long. They have like 300 pages
Okay.
or 200 at the best.
So you could classify them as books because like I don't I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that's if that's the case, then all of those board games behind me, every single one of them has a rule book. So if a rule book classifies as a book, then I have got a lot of books here as well.
Well, those books that I have, those rule books, are actually hard covered. So they have
Hardcover.
hard cover,
Yeah. Hmm.
and yeah, pretty much there are stories in there just
Hmm.
to help you out, and pretty much all everything that you need to play that game.
Yeah. Okay then. That's interesting. So these are rule books. So it's like manuals. I don't know what we could like instruction books.
Yeah, They basically explain stuff that you basically can explain. But a lot of people don't really follow these rules because they create their own just
What
to
the
make
expression is
sure.
house rules, right? You make
Yeah,
your own
house rules.
house rules. Hmm.
But
Okay.
a lot of people use these rules as an baseline of what the game could be, and they either
Mhm.
add or remove from the rules.
Okay, fair enough. We've got a comment here. I think it's supposed to be hello, hello, teachers. Uh, I'm a teacher. He's not. Matthius, you're not a teacher, are you?
Not yet.
Not yet. Wait for it, everyone. Uh, okay, maybe you were greeting Irena, who is a teacher. Irena is a teacher, as far as I know. Okay, well, good to have you here, Umesh. Good to have you here. Um, okay, so you are an avid reader, but this is not what I bet people watching us expected.
Yeah.
Like when you say you read books, people, that's not the first thing that springs to mind. Rule
Yeah,
books,
that's
you
true.
know.
But I also read a lot of stories. I try to also read Witcher, which is another really amazing book.
Yeah.
So I basically a lot of the books that I sometimes read. So yeah,
Okay, great.
but
So
but the rule books are the base thing that I read because I want to improve and learn the rules somewhat better.
yeah. Um, is that all in English then?
Yes, that's everything in English.
That's brilliant.
Well,
So
except the books that are on the rule books, since those are in Slovak or Czech or in English.
okay. What about like books for school? Do you have to read books for school because you're still a high school student, right?
Yeah, but we don't do that really anymore. We don't have any books that we have to read. Most of the time, stories are in the
Electronics,
workbooks or
electronic format
literature.
in
Yeah.
workbooks, really? Well, we didn't you did I always had to read like a list of books for my literature classes. I hated that. I never really
No,
I
we
don't
don't do
tell
that
anyone, never
anymore.
really did that. Really. Found a way to I
Yeah.
always found a different way to deal with that.
Yeah.
Uh,
For us, it's like we have this book which has like what 200 little parts of a book, and the worst part is that those parts aren't even the end or the start, so it's basically in the middle.
yeah, so these are like what do you call them? Like excerpts, right? I think the word is excerpts. I'm gonna check excerpt. Okay, excerpt. Sorry, excerpt, like extract, like pieces of writing, basically, just to give you an idea what the book is about. Yeah, and
Yeah.
often it's not the ending or beginning, so it can get quite boring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we used to do that as well. It was part of the course books, like literature course books. But then again, like we were supposed to read a few books, like I guess like several books every year, and you would have to submit a list of what you have read. And to be honest, like most people didn't do it. Like I wasn't the only one. Like okay, some people read those books, but the problem with this is like they are basically imposing certain books on you, like genres that you might not be happy, with, or just not enjoy. You might not enjoy such books. It's just like classics. Some of them are fun. Like when I was at university, that was a bit different. I think I enjoyed reading a bit more because I feel like I had a bit more choice there. Yeah, I like, for example, reading Shakespeare and stuff like that, but I could choose.
Yeah. Well, Umesh has some questions.
Yeah.
Uh, Umesh, you can probably write them in the comment
Oh,
and then
oh,
we will get.
sorry. I thought
Yeah.
you're talking about Umesh. Yeah. Umesh says he's giving me a compliment here. Not gonna put that on screen. I would blush, but I just know about yourself from the level of English podcast. The level. Not sure what I've never heard of that. Do you mean the Level Up? The Level Up English podcast? I think you mean the Level Up English podcast. Yeah. And you have got a few questions. Yeah. Well, as long as they are relevant, because we have this topic of books, then feel free to ask, Umesh. But don't start asking me about present perfect or past simple here, please. Okay. We have a lesson with Matthius here, and he is the main focus. Feel free to ask questions that are related to this topic. Okay, Matthius, where were we? Yeah. Speaking of which, you guys tell me if you are avid readers. Are you into reading? Let us know in the comments, and we can put those comments up on screen as well. I say we. It's gonna be me doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. This is a question for you, Matthius. How many books do you think you've read in your life?
A lot. Because basically in each well, if we are counting actual books and not like books for school, s- it will be around like maybe 60 or 70. But if we are only counting those that are actually at least like 50 pages, because I have some books that are like 30 or 40 because they are for kids.
Yeah.
So I have like around maybe 50 read books that are long.
Mm-hmm. Okay, then. And the next question is, what do you think about this quote? What do you think about this quote, Matthias? A reader lives 1,000 lives before he dies.
That's a good quote.
Yeah. I didn't come up with that. I found it online. So I am not taking credit for it. Not not by any stretch of the imagination. Is that
Yeah.
is that it, Matthias? I was expecting you to elaborate on that a bit, but
I mean, it's a good quote. I don't have any problem with it. I mean, I could explain what it means.
yeah, go for it. You have to say something here.
All right, so basically, a reader uh, reads a lot of books, and a lot of times, those books are about stories,
Yeah.
and each story has its own people, and each people has its own life.
What do you call these people?
Um,
K- 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 Ka?
Characters,
Of course. Yeah, characters, yeah.
yeah,
Characters. Hmm. So you sort of have a glimpse of their life, and then every story is different. You have a lot of different
yeah.
characters, and you look at the story from their prism, like from their point of view.
Or if you are actually reading a book that describes the scene, it could be like you were there during those times.
Fly on the wall, I think it's called a fly on the wall or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay then. Um, Fair enough. As for Vault, good to see you back. Vault likes reading Stephen King's books. That's science fiction, right? I think Stephen King. It's a famous author. Isn't he like a contemporary author from the USA, I believe? Yeah,
It might be.
science fiction, crime, supernatural fiction, suspense, crime, fantasy novels. Okay, yeah, obviously I'm aware of who Stephen King is. Also, okay, horror fiction as well. Yeah, I think it's a famous writer who is currently 75 years old, and yep, he is American. All right. Um, where is the next question for Matthias? Here. Okay, now What do you prefer? A podcast or a book?
Well, this is hard. It mostly depends what book and what podcast.
Now imagine it's
So,
the same topic or the same.
same topic.
It's impossible, I know, but like quality. Imagine quality wise, it's something that would interest you and that is good quality.
Well, in this case, probably podcast. If I was starting to get into the topic, and
Yeah.
the book, if I'm already into the topic that I know something about it.
Hmm.
Since in podcast they kinda explain the the topic more, while in book it doesn't really explain that well, but you can read a lot more about that topic rather than the podcast, since it has more information.
Mhm. Personally, I'm a podcast person. I haven't always been like that, but like I've been converted to that side, to the dark side, and I'm now all about podcasts. Really, I don't read. I I I wish I read a bit more. To be honest with you, I feel a bit guilty about it occasionally, but I haven't really. I've never really read much. Yeah, I've always like leaned towards spoken word, whether it's a radio or sometimes TV shows, and currently podcasts. I've got my own podcast, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. I must have like 20 podcasts in my podcasting app. I'm not always able to listen to them all, but like some of them, some of them are I follow really closely. Yeah. What about you guys? Podcast or a book? What is it for you? All right. How about this, Matthias? How about audiobooks? What do you make of them?
Well, I think they are a nice addition to being able to read a book, because sometimes you just can't, because you have to do some work, or you are on a bus, since you can
Hmm.
put your headphones in and it will read the book for you. Also, this edition, the audiobooks are good for blind people, because they can
That's
actually
right.
read the books and not have
That's
like this huge, or sometimes even multiple books of the same of the like one small book, because books for blind people that aren't audiobooks are like extremely long, because the braille
yep.
that
The
that
script.
are written is just
Hmm.
way too large for normal book covers, so they have to like stretch it out.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So it's more convenient for visually impaired people to listen to books. That's right. That's probably right. Um, I'm not visually impaired, but I do love audiobooks and podcasts, and sometimes yeah, I think it's the convenience. That's why like I can
Yeah,
multitask. I can multitask when I do that. I can go for a walk, for a run, which I can't do with when I read a book. Yeah. Okay. This is a question I didn't plan, but um, do you prefer paper books or something like Amazon Kindle?
I prefer paper books because they look nice on your shelf.
Is right, or ebooks? Yeah, something. Yeah, that is true. That is true. But they take up a lot of space if you have a loads of them. They are also more expensive.
Yeah, that's true. But they look good, and you can impress with them.
Who can you impress?
Pretty much everyone, because nobody. If you came into someone's house and they have a bookshelf that's like full, and it will nearly collapse because of all the books, you are going to be impressed by that.
By the fact that it's nearly about to collapse. Uh, okay. Um, I don't think Umesh is very happy with us.
Yeah.
I yeah, this may happen. Apparently, I have been ignoring Umesh. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Umesh. Uh,
But you did say that question about this topic, but yeah.
I can't please everyone, Umesh. I'm sorry. All right. Moving on, Matthius. I think Volt is saying that he okay, Volt, be careful. I prefer books more. I think you have to say, because if you say I prefer more books, this almost means like you prefer um having more books than fewer books. It's a bit weird. You have to be careful about the position of the word more. I prefer books more. Yeah. Um, okay. Fair enough. Volt. Fair enough. Because you like listening, but I like listening. Oh, okay. Thanks. Thanks, man. At least someone likes me here. Okay. Okay. Where were we? Next question. What is your favorite genre and why? This is
Oh
a this
well.
is a crucial question for us, Matthews, and for you.
So my favorite ones are sci-fi and fantasy. Sometimes you have both of these together, which is like really rare.
Can you please say again the first one? We have to. I think we have to fix the pronunciation there.
Uh, Fantasy
And
and and and sci-fi.
I think isn't it pronounced sci-fi? I think it is, right?
It
Sci-fi.
might be sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
But we on in Slack language it's sci-fi, so
Yeah, but
it might be from there. So
no, we
sci-fi.
we
All right.
we need to fix this because some people might not understand what you mean. So sci-fi, yeah, and fantasy. Okay, I can relate to
Fantasy
that.
is because it's most of the time it's in magical world,
Yeah.
and yeah, we don't really see that often
Mm-hmm.
because this is not because we don't do because we do not live in magical world,
Okay.
and sci-fi because it's in the future and we are not in the future.
Sci-fi. Yeah.
Yeah, sci-fi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And personally, I'm a big fan of fantasy. Especially when I was a young adult, I read my fair share of fantasy books. Especially my favorite ones were always those epic fantasy books. You know, like where the writer created his own world. We have different races and they speak their own languages, and it's just like a massive epic story. You know, and then some of them have been filmed, as we know
Yeah.
recently. The Game of Thrones, and another one, um, The Witcher, and also The Wheel of Time, which I think is a good one too. I could only recommend that. Right. So let's see. What else do we have here? What is the best book you have ever read, Matthias? Is the
What is the
best book
best
you've ever read?
book? Like that's a really weird question because I like a lot of books and choosing one it's like really hard.
Hmm.
Well, probably by far the book that I remember and it was really good was Witcher. The first
Hmm.
book. I'm
Yeah.
now reading the second one.
Okay.
So probably that's why because it was like because I read it like 7 days ago that I
7 days
finished
ago. Yeah.
reading it.
I have a fresh memory of that. So that's what's the author's name? Sapkowski or something like that.
I don't really look at authors that wrote these books. So
Well, you should.
yeah, I agree.
You should, because you should know who wrote the book. Come on. So I think his name is Sapkowski. Yeah, I'm gonna check that. I think he's from Poland as well. Just checking. Yeah, Andrzej Sapkowski. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the author. So have you seen the TV show, by the way? Here we go. We have
Um, no, I'm not really into TV shows.
okay, because they have recently made a TV show out of it too, and I like the first few episodes. I would go as far as to say I like the whole first season, but the second season, oh, such a letdown, such a letdown. Honestly, I didn't even finish it, but I bet the books are better. Mine, mine, mine. You have to say mine, yeah, Volt, not my. Mine is Hound of the Baskervilles. Yeah, yeah, I think that rings a bell. Hound Baskervilles. I've heard about that book. Story before. It's a crime novel by Arthur Conan Doyle. Of course. This is Sherlock Holmes. You're talking about the Sherlock Holmes, one of the Sherlock Holmes stories, aren't you?
Yeah,
I should,
those
I should
are.
know. I should probably know all this. I feel a bit.
Yeah, we in my bed there might be some of those books because we have like a lot of these old ones from like
Mm,
50 years ago.
yeah,
So
I feel ashamed I didn't remember this. This obviously, it's all coming back now. Okay, it's
yeah,
all coming
well, I
back.
never heard of it. So
I have, I have, I have. I just my memory is not that good these days. Okay, then.
at least you remember it.
Well, vaguely, barely.
I mean, better than not remembering it at all.
True, true. Thanks for making me feel better, Matthias. Thanks
You're
for that.
welcome.
All right. Is it a problem that young people don't read so much these days? I think maybe Matthias is a bit different. He doesn't represent the generation. I bet people don't read as much as people read 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Well, with me, it's really weird because I'm on the like verge of modern kids and the old kids. Like the year 2005, where in which I was born, was like the exact point where we have i- the the modern kid stereotype and the like the older generation where it was like basically cut.
I think there are some names for these generations. So you have got the millennials, right?
Then you have Gen Z,
Generation Z, yeah.
Generation Z.
Is that you? Anyone who was born like millennials are anyone who was born before the turn of the millennium, right? But then after
Yeah,
that, I think it's something like that. After is
Ge-
Generation Z. I think.
Generation Z. I might be in it. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's Generation Z. I'm just gonna quickly check here. Generation Z or Gen Z, colloquially known as Zoomers, is the
yeah.
demographic cohort succeeding millennials and preceding Generation Alpha. There's also Generation Alpha. I didn't know that. Did you know that, Mateus?
Well, I did heard of it, but I kind of forgot
Mhm.
about it because it's not really essential for me.
Okay, well, it is interesting because there are some traits, common traits for people born. These are stereotypes, but I think some of it is true.
Yeah, and with kids born before 2006, it you could say the same because they all have these more mature feeling because from kids that are born before like 2006 are more mature.
Mature.
then
Yeah.
mature, yeah.
Okay.
And basically everything after that was just, yeah, not so.
I like the way you talk about everything after that is just not so.
Yeah,
As if they're like some things. These are people, Matthias. We're talking about people here.
yeah. And basically that generation is a bit too, uh, well, they explode more.
They explode more. What
Yeah, because they get,
do you mean?
well, if they are called by a bad name, they basically just get angered real quickly.
Oh, they get triggered very easily.
Yeah,
I see. I see. They don't. They
that's
take everything personally, and
yeah,
they can't take criticism and feedback from people. Things like that.
yeah.
Okay. Why
That's
is it?
why we
Why
have
is
the saying explode.
Yeah, I know. I get it now. They explode. It was like a metaphor. So why do you think this is happening then?
It might be because of the modern era with mobile phones, and because in 2005 it probably changed a lot
Okay.
during the informational era.
Yeah. And now, like, what is happening is that people, uh, in order to hold people's attention, you need to uh, keep your videos as short as possible. Like this video is too long for that generation. Basically, you need. That's why they have TikTok, right? TikTok is about short videos, and even
Yeah,
like Instagram Reels. That's why I started doing Instagram Reels. If you don't know, guys, I am also active on Instagram. I have got an Instagram account at Teachers Zdenek, and you can watch my reels there. Recently, I've been making reels from the beach. If you want to see me on the beach, head over to my Instagram and follow me there. I'm also on TikTok, but I don't know what to think about it, Mateus. To be honest with you, what I do is I only post the same videos on TikTok, the same ones I make for my Instagram, basically. Yeah.
yeah. Well, TikTok is like the dark place of internet, so
Is it? Is it? Is it
well,
even? Is it even the internet? It's kind of. It's like a mobile world, isn't it? More than.
I mean, but it's on internet. You can find it
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
on your
Okay.
computer.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I think TikTok is like the line between what's like normal and what's like starting to be like really weird.
Hmm. Okay. You think everything after TikTok will be weird. That's what you mean. Like TikTok is like
No,
the
on
borderline for you.
that TikTok is on like this weird line because a lot of the stuff on it is like normal, like what
Mhm.
you would see, but then you have like this stuff that's like, why would you even make that?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I've even seen some weird people. Like I don't understand how these people can even be followed. Like it's just like people who have nothing to say and they live like a strange life and they're just weird. They look weird. They behave in a weird way. And like you understand someone would follow someone if they are really funny or they teach you something or they just give you some
Yeah,
information, right? You would understand that. Funny, informative, or teachers or something like that. But or even like some, let's say, influencers that just I don't know, they're just cool for one reason or another. I know has a lot of tattoos or looks good. Someone looks really good. People follow people because they look good. Let's be honest.
yeah,
But then you have some people that are really weird. And like I would say, like they have so many followers and they do like lives, and I'm like, what is this? What is they do like lives from their like room and just doing something boring, like some kind of a boring thing. Like I don't know, they are don't know what even going to the toilet and people will watch that. It's just
yeah.
I don't
That's
get
why I
it.
call it a dark line between what's moral and what is not. Also, TikTok has like really weird trends. Like once a while back, there was a trend to behave um, like mentally ill people, which is
Really.
like, yeah,
That's not very nice.
yeah.
That's not very nice. I mean,
That's why I hate TikTok because if something like this can go trending on it,
yeah. But isn't that TikTok's fault then? Like, shouldn't TikTok ban something like that? Like,
yeah,
if it's a bit like
but
a bit too much, like you bban it? Like if it's like
well, they did actually ban it after um 2 or something about 2 days, but
okay,
basically you had like thousands upon, I would say even million videos of
okay.
this.
Oh, that sounds like bullying to me, honestly. Like mentally ill people, that's like a serious thing, yeah.
Yeah,
And they can't do anything about it often, like they need help. And
yeah,
why would you just target someone like vulnerable? Like
yeah.
it's
They were basically impersonating them. So
okay. I
yeah,
see.
that's just not nice.
It's not like, I mean, I can understand like to some extent because like you have like humor. Some people will claim that you can make fun of anything, right? And
Yeah,
often something that is different or just in some way, like who wouldn't laugh at that? But like one thing is, I guess, is like if you are in a circle of friends, like you are in a pub or something. And another thing is like this is going public, yeah. And like sorry, but like this is like targeting vulnerable people. Like it's not on really. Not I don't know. Anyway, Matthias, we're not talking about books anymore. We went off on a bit of a tangent here, which is okay. Which is okay. And I'm just gonna share my screen and we look at some feedback together.
yeah.
There's not much today.
Oh, really?
No, don't know what it says about me, but
Well,
probably
I
this.
did try to avoid the letters that I like mispronounce. So
Okay, sounds you mispronounce. Oh, you shouldn't avoid them, Matthias. Don't avoid them.
I mean, yeah,
You should use them. You should work on them, but don't avoid them. That's not the way. You need them. You need those W sounds. And
yeah.
but okay, Matthias, what's the difference between these two words in terms of pronunciation? Can you see this?
30? Yeah, I can see it.
Okay,
30 and 13.
okay. First of all, there's a little issue with this initial sound, but we know that. So,
Yeah.
th, 30, 30.
30. 30.
You need to
13?
put the tongue between your teeth. Yeah, like 30, 30.
30. 30.
Thir- Can you like imagine you're about to spit 30 and then you sort of
30. I
okay.
probably speak differently, so
Maybe you don't spit at all. Um
yeah, that's also true.
okay. And what about the second word then? What's the difference?
What's the difference?
The main difference, everyone, is that this teen is actually stressed. Yeah. And this is quite a common mistake, and it's more tricky than you might think, because I have Alexa, yeah? And sometimes I want to set myself a timer, and I would say something like, Alexa, 15-minute timer. And if I don't properly stress the teen, if I don't say 15-minute timer, then Alexa will say, all right, 50 minutes starting now. And I'm like, what? What? I didn't say 50. I'm making myself rice. I just need 15 minutes to cook this rice. Why would I cook it for 50 minutes, Alexa? You're stupid. Yeah, but all like the only person I can really blame is myself, right? Because I should be making it clear. 30, 13. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah.
40, 14. Go on. Now you
50, 15,
15, 15.
15,
Yeah. Keep it short. Keep the first vowels short. Yeah. The first
60,
vowels.
16.
That's it.
Right. Should I continue or
Yeah. One more.
70, 17?
That's it. Okay. You just need to stress the teen. And this is so commonly misunderstood by people. Like I even heard, like when I was in London, I swear to God, like even native speakers don't understand each other sometimes when they use these two numbers, because it's just they would say something like, "Did you say 30 or 13?" And it's quite common, right? For example, you can ask someone, "Well, hey, how old are you?" And they'll say 30. And you're like, "What? 13? You don't look 13." Something like that. Anyway, if you count every single book that is on a different place,
Yeah, that just sounds weird.
it does sound weird, right? But what's wrong with it then?
Well, I have a feeling that could be probably two, 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 two sentences rather than one.
No, I think the biggest issue here is I didn't really complete this sentence because I can't remember what exactly you said, but the preposition is the issue here for me. If you're talking about a place, do
It
you use on?
is in different
Yeah,
place.
yeah, I would use in myself, to be honest with you. Yeah,
Well, I was talking about shelves, so
I know, but like, can you say on a different
in a
place?
different place. Yeah, it should be in.
It's about the word place, you see, because you need to use in with the word place. Like if you want to use on, then you have to really use the word shell,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. Okay. How would you pronounce this word? That was my mistake. So how is it pronounced again?
Ex excerpts, uh,
Excerpts.
excerpts,
There's a s sound.
excerpts. All right.
Excerpts. So those are like sections from books, not the whole book. Okay. Okay, here we have a sentence, and I would like to ask you how you would pronounce this preposition here. Just try to pronounce the whole thing and focus on pronouncing the preposition.
Books that are for kids.
Yeah, that's exactly it's exactly you overdid it now. But I want you to do the exact opposite. In most cases, when we have prepositions in English, they are pronounced in with their weak form,
All right.
which means instead of saying for, you would say for. Books that are for kids, like this.
Books
This
that
is
are for books that
no
are
for
that
your pronunciation of that is way too strong for two
yeah.
reasons. First of
Book.
all,
All right.
I just want to say this. First of all, you're kind of over pronouncing the r sound, which is okay in American English, I guess, but it just exacerbates this issue that you're pronouncing it too strong. The whole thing is too strong. You just have to say f. Just say f.
All right.
Try again.
Books that are for kids.
For kids. Can you just say f
For
for kids? By the way,
books that are for the
this
kids.
is not a finished sentence as well. I think maybe
Yeah.
you might have started it like this, and then you wanted to say something else, but it doesn't matter. The main point is f. It's like
For
f and right? So for kids.
all right.
Try again.
For kids.
Yeah, books that are for kids. For kids. Is this for me? You would not say, is this for me? Okay, you could say it. I'm not saying it's a massive mistake, but like if you want to sound more natural, try using those weak forms, yeah, prepositions. Just don't pronounce them like for, unless it's at the end of a sentence. Who is this for? Yeah, for example, who are you waiting for? If it's at the end, then it has to be pronounced in its strong form. But then, like, if it's in the middle, like, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. You don't have to say, I'm waiting for you. No. But if it's at the end, who are you waiting for? I can't say who are you waiting for. That's not possible in English.
Yeah.
So the prepositions can have two different pronunciations, basically. That's my point. And here, mostly it's pronounced as f, especially in the middle. Okay. Each people has its own lives. What's wrong with that?
Um, I would probably it could probably each person has its own life.
That's it. Correct. You need each with a singular noun. People is a plural noun,
Yeah.
so that's the issue here. In that case, I'm into the podcast that I know something about it. Something about it. What's wrong with that?
I think that it and at the end shouldn't be there.
Absolutely. Yeah. This would be a way to end a sentence with a preposition here, right? You just say, I'm into podcasts that I know something about. It's just a relative clause here. What kind of podcast? Podcast that I know something about.
No.
Yeah. Not it. You don't want to use it again. All right. How do you pronounce this word?
Also,
That sounds almost like German, Matthius. Also.
yeah.
No. It's long or also.
Also,
Also. I'm gonna check
also,
quickly.
also. All right.
Also. Yeah. Also. Also. All. Like imagine you're saying all. All of us, right? All.
Yeah.
It's like a
Also,
combination of all and so. Yeah. Also.
also.
That's it. Much better. Okay.
Right.
And this one?
Sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Okay. And how about this one?
Authors.
No. Okay. It's
Um,
actually the same sound as also. So you have to start with the same sound. The same vowel
Authors.
sound. Authors. Authors.
Authors.
This is just the again, right? But it starts with o. It's the same way. In the same way. What's the current season, Matthias?
Atom.
No, it's the same pronunciation as all. All these words start with the same sound. Or,
Atom.
or,
Autumn. Yeah.
autumn,
Autumn.
autumn. Yeah. How about this one? It's a bit tough. Yeah, this one, but it
Well,
starts with
I
the
would
same sound.
say auto. I would say these are
Not
autobiography.
auto. Or
Auto
autobiography. Or yeah.
autobiography. All right.
It seems like for you it's a bit unusual to start a word with this sound or, but there are words in English which start with the or sound. Okay, I'm gonna show you the symbol for it. This is the symbol, Matthias, that we use for this sound. It's a long or, like this. So we have autobiography, autumn, authors, also, although, yeah,
Although.
and there are
Yeah.
more words. Augmented reality. I don't know. Augmented. There's also a name, Audrey. The name Audrey. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Right. Let's see if we have any comments. Ding dong. Not sure what that's supposed to mean, but thanks for that, Jörg. Good to see you here again. And yeah, unless you guys have any questions, I think that's where we will leave it. Thank you very much for attending the class,
Yeah.
Matthius. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's the ding dong. It's like a sound of a bell, isn't it? Ding dong,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Well, it's more of a like that he was. I think it was. He's a ding dong because he was like coming in to the stream.
Okay. Maybe. Maybe. Well, everyone, thanks for watching. And don't forget that Achievers Chambers, I messed it up. Basically, if you need some regular speaking practice and you would like to be exposed to English, to quality English, high level English learners, um, pretty much on a daily basis. For example, tonight we are going to play board games in that group. But sometimes we just have a conversation lesson or pronunciation lesson. And members can be here as well as one of the faces of these YouTube lives. So if this is something that might interest you, if you feel like you need a little bit of a push, maybe you are stuck at your level and you think this would benefit you, being a member of such group would benefit you. So don't, if that's you, if you've just recognized yourself, then don't hesitate and contact me at teachersdenek@gmail.com, and I will see what I can do. All right. Also, you can find it at my website, teachersdenek.com. All right. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to give us a like. Matthius, thanks for this. And I guess I'll see you later tonight during the board games.
Yeah.
What would you like to play tonight?
Anything really?
Anything? We're gonna use Tabletop Simulator as usual, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we play some simpler party games because we don't always have gamers there. Yeah. So it's not
Yeah.
only for like heavy gamers or for geeks, nerds. It's almost general public people who don't necessarily play board games in their life, but here they come to practice English. So that's why we want to choose games that are kind of, let's say, how to put it. Well, games that
Simpler and
simpler,
vocal games.
easier to learn. The rules are not that complex, and also you have a chance to speak and practice English during such games. I think that's another good criterion. Anyway, that's it from me and Matthius. Take care, everyone,
Bye.
and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.